necessarily physically there, but your consciousness will be called in. You don't need to do anything. You don't need to mend fences. You don't need to inflict the energy, peace, or anything else. Just being there with your consciousness and new energy changes the way the old energy elements, the old energy vibration is working and responding. So, for your children, just being there. This is what we call the standard. Just being there. Assuming the I am presence. Knowing that all things are truly in perfect order. Thank you. Yes?
And I wouldn't apologize even for this. For the Shambra who choose to have this kind of experience, since we're on the topic of feelings,
Yes.
Based on my experience, what I'm going to put out as a heads up for you, when I had this experience, what was, I think, maybe even more profound than the experience itself was how dissociated people were from their feelings and the denial of their feelings about it. And I actually went into kind of a post-traumatic shock for like 3 days because everybody around me was going, you didn't get blown up, what's the big deal? You know, you're fine. And I'm going, hey, what are you doing? But nobody got it. So if you go through this and people around you don't get it, it's not you. Really, you're okay. You're a feeling being, and maybe people around you are not connected at that level. So if you have that experience, you're okay, and I want you to know that.
Absolutely. And that reminds me to remind everybody, you can be in very intense and dramatic situations, and you can absolutely feel them like you were experiencing it. You don't have to own it. It's not yours. And you can return back to your essence, your presence, simply through the I am. I am that I am. You still will have felt everything and experienced it, but it doesn't become part of your book. It doesn't become just another chapter in your life. You see, there's beauty to it, the ability to really feel something, but not own it. Now, some Shambhara have thought that meant that they don't actually physically or mentally feel the confusion or at a deep level feel the spiritual spiral. No, you're going to feel those. You're just going to remind yourself that they're not yours. They're experiences. They're not yours. Excellent, thank you.
Tobias St. Germain. I'm Dora from Hungary, and we wait for you in Maine. Hungary is a strange and contradictory place, and I hate it and love it. I want to go away and stay at the same time. Can you tell me something about the situation of this country from your point of view? And if you could tell me anything about my personal situation in this religion process, I'd be so thankful because I feel so lost at this moment. We love you all so much. Dora.
Dear Dora, we're going to come to visit, and both Tobias and I will be there with you. I'll give you a little bit right now that Hungary is a wounded land, wounded people, very proud, but yet very wounded. Hungary is what I would call a victim country, but yet very strong in its own right. Feels like it had its arms and legs removed from it, and it's time somebody gave those back. Hungary also has tremendous potential to, leapfrog the traditional patterns, historic patterns that emerging or awakening countries go through. So we're coming there specifically to address some of these issues. As far as your work, you have chosen to be in this land, you've chosen to be a standard in Shambhara, but you are taking on too much of the energies of the people who are stuck and angry and feeling like victims. It's wearing you out and it's tiring you out because you're owning these feelings as your own and they're not. Take a deep breath, remind yourself that you are not hungry. I get it?
That's really funny.
I'll leave the
Really
humor.
funny.
I'll leave the humor to go through me. Remind yourself that you are not hungry. Truly, you are yourself. You have allowed yourself, given yourself permission to go there to be a standard, but stop taking on all of the issues that's wearing you out. We'll be there soon. Thank you.
Very clever. I appreciate the practice today. I still have a question. And I'll use an example from the last couple weeks, if I can. Coming back from feelings, waking up with a deep sense of emptiness and anxiety, allowing myself to feel that, choosing or trying to choose to move through it. Sometimes I might succeed, but it's the place of wanting to honor those feelings and the outward expression. For me in the past, honoring those feelings meant maybe I need to take a time out for a day. When they continue for a few weeks, it's not such a good idea to take a time out for 2 weeks in life. So we work today on releasing those, and I guess that's my question or guidance, how really to let go of that, or when is that expression or taking care of oneself, when is it an outward expression and when do you just need to release it and move through it, and how to do that?
It's an excellent observation, and it's very important for all Shamira. The master is one who can absolutely feel something, even things like sadness, emptiness, depression. Now these are very difficult energies, but they're very powerful. They contain depression and sadness and even emptiness, oddly enough, contain tremendous amount of feeling or sensory energy. It's so overwhelming that it can absolutely make you feel like you're empty and you're depressed. It's phenomenal. You, particularly here, are playing around with your own aspects, your own selves, parts of you that you weren't real happy with, parts of you that stay alive by playing this game with you. They're afraid of dying, if losing their identity, if they no longer capture your attention. And they have a deep fear, as do you, that the moment you take on your own I am presence, you claim mastery of yourself, that they're going to disappear. And in a way they will. They won't really disappear, they'll integrate with you. They won't go, they won't fade off from the memory, they'll just stop controlling you. You'll still remember what darkness and sadness and depression felt like, but now you won't hone it. Can you see the difference between feeling or sensory that we've talked about today, but not letting it control you? You come back to yourself, you come back to your own mastery. Basically, you're being challenged right now, once again, to determine who you are. Determine your own I am essence. Are you going to let your aspects continue to try to steal your soul? Or are you going to claim mastery of yourself? It's a wonderful game. It's an amazing game. But it truly is time for it to end. And you get so serious about it. You get so overwhelmed by it, but you know that is just feeling. Serious is a big feeling. It's a very serious feeling. but it is feeling. The important thing we are working with Sham